everyone, and welcome to another episode of Raw Review with the guru of pro wrestling, Marvelous Mike. I am back here reviewing wrestling. I say that it is good to be back, and so let's get into the show on Monday Night Raw and what went on. It was a pretty solid show overall. The show opened up with WWE Champion Drew McIntyre and setting up his retribution upon Randy Orton. And I will say that this seems to be turning into a decent feud. Love Randy Orton. Really the only pure heel that is on Monday Night Raw. And it was look forward to seeing this match at Clash of Champions. Adam Pearce come down, and I'm really still not sold on Adam Pearce being the Raw general manager type figure here, but anyway, he come down and said that he didn't know if Randy Orton would be cleared medically for Clash of Champions because he had received 3 Claymore kicks last week, but set up the match for him with Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee later on in the show. And it was a decent promo, and Drew McIntyre was intense as always, did a good job, and the show seemingly did go on. Then we had the Street Profits. That was versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro are the SmackDown champions. The Street Profits are the Raw champions. This match completely makes no sense at all to me why these two champions are clashing. They're, again, lack of tag teams within WWE. As always, it seems that the WWE does not stress their tag team divisions. This ended up a pretty solid match, though. Of course, you had Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura that made the Street Profits really look like champions and really look like threats. The Street Profits ended up pulling out the win here, which I was very surprised at this, to say the least. But it was a very solid match between the two. Of course, you have Cesaro, you have Shinsuke Nakamura that was in the match. What is to be expected? They're both great in the ring. They both deserve more spotlight, but at least they're on TV. Next, we have Andrade and Angel Garza brawling backstage. They're breaking up this team. It looks like, I don't understand why. They were seeming like a good tag team, good heel tag team. They could have let Andrade and Angel actually win the tag team championship and let the Street Profits chase it for a little while. And again, really don't understand why this feud is happening. I guess it gives guys something to do. Selena Vega was caught in the middle of them and she got frustrated and just walked off during the promo. Next, we got a match with Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. So Cedric Alexander comes down with the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business, one of the best factions in pro wrestling right now. They're legit. They look the part. And Cedric Alexander is there. He defeated Ricochet, and in this via pinfall. Good match. Both very talented wrestlers. It's great to see both of them working in the ring. I hope they do something with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, where Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander go and they get this Raw Tag Team Championship. They deserve it to have most all of the gold with the Hurt Business. It makes sense. I would even like to see maybe Keith Lee join the Hurt Business and turn heel and win the championship, that would be probably a good idea, but I doubt that they're going to do that, but you never do know. But it's just whatever comes up in Vince McMahon's brain to do. But here we have this, and it was okay. Retribution then cut a promo backstage. Was really not too impressed by Retribution. It's Vince McMahon again trying to capitalize on what's going on in the world. I don't really think we need this. I think that maybe we need some escapism away from the actual reality of this. Not too much of a fan of Retribution, but it's just what's going on in Vince McMahon and his quirky ideas that he has. Next we have the Raw Women's Championship. We have Asuka and Mickie James. This was actually a good match, back and forth. Again, Mickie James is given really the short end of the stick in this match. They could turn her heel. She's a fantastic heel, back from the days gone by, and she had Asuka on the ropes all through the match, but it ended up really a no contest. Referee stoppage with Mickie James, I guess, just losing consciousness via Asuka's submission lock. I think it was a wasted opportunity. Again, I think that then after the match, Selena Vega come down and slapped Asuka, said she's going after the title again. Mickie James is getting slighted. I don't like this. They could use Mickie James right now, since they're down in star power right now in the women's division. They could use Mickie James to give her a little title run against Asuka or something. But Vince McMahon, for some reason, is not pulling the trigger on Mickie James. Then we had Bobby Lashley defeat Eric from the Viking Raiders via the Bobby Lashley looked like a monster here. Love him in this role. Love him with the Hurt Business. It is great. Like I said, the Hurt Business, along with Randy Orton, is the best thing. It's on Monday Night Raw right now. And next we get Braun Strowman and his Raw Underground debut. And we had several matches going on. We had Rick Moss and Dolph Ziggler fighting back. We had Titus O'Neil when Strowman demanded to go back to the area where they have the Raw Underground. And Titus O'Neil got destroyed, of course, and sent him back to Calgary. And then we had Strowman's confrontation. Of course, they spaced this out a little bit through different programming. They had Strowman facing off against Rick Moss, and then we had him finally facing off against Dabba-Kato, and they said that was all for this episode, and they would have to come back and they would see how what would happen in these two. I like the feel of the realism of the Raw Underground. It could be more. Vince McMahon is obsessed with these big, huge dudes back there. It could be a little bit better, I think. I mean, you have Dolph Ziggler, you have, even different ones with a little bit more experience in wrestling, MMA background that could make it a little bit more real. But, then again, it's Vince McMahon. What do you expect? Kevin Owens and Aleister Black then faced off in the ring. This seems like a waste of programming here again, because Kevin Owens and Aleister Black, that should be like something special. Maybe at a pay-per-view or Clash of Champions or something like this, but they're not really getting much time at all, I don't think, to develop anything here. Kevin Owens hit with a stunner. They could do a little bit more. I think that they could do, if they want to turn Aleister Black full heel, they could do a little bit more here, I believe, with this. And they could just finally, Kevin Owens getting his retribution or something like that. It's a little bit of play on words, getting his retribution at one of the events. Finally, I think that they should sort of do something like this. But again, the writing is really weak. But you really can't blame the writers, I don't think. Because you still have the Vince McMahon issue that is there and hindering really stories from developing there on Raw. And next we had the Riot Squad and face off against Natalya and Lana. I guess that's how you pronounce her name. And we have it was okay, I would say that. The Riot Squad need, I think they need to develop more of a underdog type persona. The idea was to sort of set up this match between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. Definitely, the Riot Squad needs to be completely destroyed by Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, which they were a little bit, intimidated here. It ended up that at the end of the match, that Nia Jax put Lana through a announce table, which was great, and it was okay, I would suppose. Wasn't really sold on the whole idea. It's at least, they need to, at least they're building Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as this monster tag team, which is a good thing. Next we have, and we're going to have the two main matches we're going to cover, is we had Seth Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio, and it was good. Very solid match. Dominic Mysterio is just amazing potential. I believe that he's going to be a star. I really don't understand why the whole family is involved. I understand why Rey Mysterio is there, his dad, but it's more the extension of his family there, his sister and his mom. Really, do we really need that? This is 2020. Again, we had the dynamic between Seth Rollins and his disciple, Buddy Murphy, and Seth Rollins ended up winning, and Buddy Murphy, though, during the match, had slammed the door a little bit on Seth Rollins, and after the match, Seth Rollins basically destroyed him. And so I don't know if they're going to lead to a program between Rollins and Murphy. It was kind of really a weak setup between this. I guess we know that this is going to be coming, but really they need to do something where it means something to turn Murphy face. Murphy has a lot of potential in being a star. Again, poor writing. They did a good job in the ring, Mysterio. I think that, really that Dominic sort of needs to break away from his dad. They need to go into some sort of feud now, maybe with Angel Garza and or something of that down that road. They need to do something else with Dominic, I believe, and this feud, this ongoing thing with Seth Rollins. It's really getting old. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing it in the ring. Then we had McIntyre versus Keith Lee. And of course, you know, these are two faces facing off. Baby faces that are supposedly facing off. And, you know, they built up tension through the show, and it was good. Finally, it culminated in blows where, you know, Keith Lee said, well, I'm going to basically come after your championship. And then we got the match. Of course, it's hard-hitting and good. I mean, you know, I really am under the impression, maybe I'm just too old school to where I like to see, you know, to build up to matches, necessarily you don't have to have the two guys, you know, combat in the ring until you're going to build up to something that means something. But they, in any words, anyway, they battled in the ring. Then Attribution got involved, and they started attacking Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre. Then the Hurt Business come down. They had talked to Adam Pearce earlier that night, but they said that they would take care of Attribution, and it was a big, huge brawl. You know, this really feels like the Nexus all over again. Again, I do not like the image of the guys in the black mask and everything. You know, it's too much of a feel about what's going on in the world today. I think that, you know, I might get a lot of criticism over this, but, you know, when I watch wrestling, I want to break away from the real world. And but anyway, the show ended that way, and I'm just not sold on Attribution at all. They do not feel like much of a threat. I miss the old Nexus. That was done correctly, whoever was writing that. And so we have the end of Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty solid program. I give it, it was okay. It was long. Again, 3 hours long. I think is too long for any type of wrestling program. I think 2 hours is the golden goose of time period to look at and to have these wrestling programs. After 3 hours, it just sort of gets old. So anyway, that's my feelings on Monday Night Raw. It was an okay program. It had some decent writing. Again, seems like that there's undeveloped stories. That's the problem been with WWE for a very long time, and love to see something done better between some of these superstars. So that's my feelings on Monday Night Raw. I hope each and every one of you that enjoyed this review of it keep safe, and we'll see you back here next time for the Marvelous Mike and the Guru of Pro Wrestling, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's good to be back doing Raw reviews, wrestling reviews. We'll be bringing you some more content here on the channel, and you guys keep safe. We'll talk to you next time.